Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So continuing to work on Link's face in the middle of the pattern here. We're so close to 50%. We're at 48.5%. So yeah, this is moving right along. Oh, goodness, pardon me. Yeah, as I've said, I was sick, and I don't get taken out very often by a cold, but when I do, I seem to catch the especially nasty ones that settle into your sinuses and just hang on forever. It always seems to be like 3 weeks for me. So, yeah. If my voice still sounds a little funny, that's why. I still got a little bit of a cough. And now my husband has caught it, I think. I don't know whether it was for me because I don't think I was infectious anymore. But, yeah, unfortunately, he's home from work and sleeping, trying to get better, so. Well, that's life, right? Yeah, fortunately, knock on wood, fingers crossed and all that, kiddo has not caught it, so. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one who brought it home but didn't actually get sick. Often seems to be the way. Yeah, I said I thought I had such a good immune system, and then my kids started school, right? And oh, germ factories. Oh, I had 2 ear infections in a few years. Once he was in elementary school. Ugh. I said, yeah, no wonder babies cry. Like, that really sucks. You can't even swallow without it hurting. Oh. So yeah, I'm hoping to hit 2/3 done by the end of this month. That's, you know, about another 18% completed, so we shall see. If I worked only on this, I would hit it for sure, but I have been working on Firefly every month a little bit. I'm trying to get sort of 1% of that one done every month. So it'll only take me 8 years to complete it that way, but yeah, it's kind of daunting to focus on just that one piece because it is the biggest one I've ever attempted. It's over 550,000 stitches, so yeah. I like to work on other stuff as well so that I can have some finishes too. I love the process of stitching, but yeah, there definitely is something about having a finished project too that you can hang on your wall. New starts and new finishes are always exciting. Yeah, and if you've watched my monthly update video, you'll see I did another new start. Another, my Ocarina of Time Zelda pattern, because that one has a whack ton of background stitches. So it is one that is going to be, again, I outline it and then slowly work at it, pick away at it. Sometimes when I'm too tired to focus on anything with a lot of confetti, a lot of detail. So, yeah, when I need a brain break. And yeah, this detail definitely does take a lot out of you because, yeah, when I said I was recovering from the illness, it was like, oh, I feel okay. I'll sit and stitch, you know. That's not too strenuous, but yeah, it sure was for my brain. There's one day I did like maybe 20 stitches and it was just like, no, I'm done. My brain is fried like an egg. Oops, I was trying to park and mark there. Sometimes I tap on the buttons at the top, but it doesn't register me switching from move mode and markup mode. Like I've said before, this is an older tablet, so it is starting to wear out. Yeah, one nice thing working on this smaller project, I can see the numbers moving more quickly. I was working on my Firefly yesterday, and it's like, it took, 57 stitches to get it to move 0.01%. Whereas this one takes like 5 stitches to get to that same point, so yeah. Okay, 38.25. Pardon me. Ah, yes, this was a color I bought just for this pattern. Yeah, I had to buy quite a few colors for this pattern that I didn't already have because it's 125 different colors in this piece. So, yeah, I do not have a full master set of threads. Well, I've kind of never bothered because there's some colors I may never use depending on what patterns I pick. And yeah, plus I'd worried about dye lot issues if I, bought some years ago and then I ended up having a pattern that needed, 6 or 7 skeins of it, then it might not match and then it'd be a waste. So yeah, I buy the color when I'm actually going to use it. This is more of Link's forehead here. Yeah, we may actually, I think we'll finally get one of his eyes in this diagonal. Last diagonal we were pretty close, but it was just his hair curving towards his eyes. Yeah, like I said, we're close to 50% because the center is like, I think right here in this square here. Because I stitched diagonally, it's not perfectly, up to that point, but yeah, we are getting there. Yeah, I love passing the 50% point on a project. The whole, okay, it's all downhill from here. Although it's funny because sometimes it can feel like you hit the 50% fairly quickly and then the second half can sometimes kind of drag, so yeah. It was like I saw this meme that was life cycle of a handmade project and yay, this is fun. Oh, this is going quickly. Oh, yay, we're 50%. Oh, wait, we're only at 50%. Oh, this is taking forever, Then, oh, this thing is never going to be done. Okay, it's finally done. And then start again. Yippee, new project. Yeah, some people have a lot more in rotation than I do. I've got a total of 4 right now. Although one of them I'm currently not really working on anymore. That was the Marvelous Garden. I finished the background corner, so now it's going to sit and wait until I'm done this one here, and then it will become my main piece, the one you will see in my Stitch With Me sessions. Quite a few colors here in this similar color palette because it's shading. Yeah, this is the half of his face here that's in the light from the fairy, which is over his shoulder up there. Yeah, I might also blame I didn't get as much done last month because it is February, the shortest month of the year, right? It's not a leap year, so yeah, even without the illness, I might have been a little short. It's 28 days instead of, 30 or 31. Those extra few days can make a difference. So yeah, that's right. That center mark is right below this square that I'm working on right now. Okay, 3771. Yeah, I didn't get as much detail work on my firefly, but I got a whole bunch of the black background done because I visited a friend and that's the projects I brought. And it's actually kind of nice. Her dog was all sprawled on me. So I had, instead of my stack of pillows, I had his back as my armrest for my top arm. She said, "Do you mind?" I said, "Oh no, he makes a nice armrest." Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this definitely looks like his eye here. Looking at the shapes here on the screen. Yeah, I'd say this is definitely his right eye. Okay. Yeah, we'll see if I hit any more zeros this month or not. Those are always fun. Yeah, we had a little bit of a cold snap here, but thankfully no snow. Yeah, actually my in-laws in BC got more snow. Yeah, they'd already had some spring flowers, and then they had a storm and it dumped a bunch of snow on top of them. That way, yeah, we don't have any flowers here yet, that's for sure. Yeah. We still have another 4 to 6 weeks before the thaw. Then it's the season of mud. Yeah, so the colors here in this bit are kind of curving this way because it's outlining his eye. So that means I end up kind of changing colors a bit more often to keep from closing stuff in that way. As you will see here. Is that one threaded? No, I didn't think so. Or at least if it was, it's not anymore. Yeah, so I had two threads of this color, one that went along that path this way and one that went out this way. Okay, 38.56. Yeah, I'm wondering if our guinea pig is gonna survive till summer, as she's very old. Because, yeah, she likes summer because then I put her in our backyard among the grass and the clover, and yeah, she just goes to town. She loves clover. She likes dandelions, but not the flower part. She likes the stems and the leaves. So it was kind of funny because I put a bunch of dandelions in front of her, and she would eat the stem right up until the flower part, and then the top would just sort of pop right off, and then she would move on to the next one. So she would have a whole little pile of the flowers at her feet at the end because she'd eaten all the stems. Yeah, I was giving her a bath the other day in the sink, and I had to put my hand under her chin because she kept trying to drink the bath water. I was like, no, it's nasty, and it has soap in it. Yeah, she needs bottom baths a little more often now because she's older and she doesn't groom herself as well. Because, yeah, her mobility is a bit diminished with her age because, yeah, she's a very old piggy. She's coming on to 9 years old, and usually, like, they say they live 6 to 8 years, so, yeah. She's outlived other piggies that family had when they were babies, and she is still here. You know, they were babies, and they got them after we got her when she was, like, a year old, and, yeah, they have passed on, and she is still here. Yeah, it's been almost a year since I stopped being able to put her her food up on, because she has a 2-story cage with a little ramp to climb up the top, and that's where she used to have her food. She liked to spread her hay out on the perch and take naps in it, but then I noticed she didn't want to walk up there anymore, and I realized, oh, okay, because she's older, it's harder for her to walk up the ramp, so I moved her food down to the bottom thinking, okay, this might be, you know, near the end of her life, but a year later, she is still here. Yeah, I am really gonna miss her when she's gone. Okay, I'm gonna move all of these over a bit. So I'm gonna fill in this kind of curve here and then work on that area there. So, oh wow, there's really not a lot. There's only 3 stitches of this color. The other one is down here, so I think we should definitely get a 0 this month then, at some point, since there's only 3 stitches of this color. So 37, 13. Yeah, because sometimes I have where there's only 3 stitches, but the other stitch is like way down in the very bottom corner or something. Yeah, this is another color I bought just for this pattern, just for 3 stitches. Yeah. Although, I think I have other patterns that use this color, so, because sometimes when it's that few stitches, I'll replace it with something close instead of buying a whole new skein just for that. Yeah, this has shown me, I don't think a max color from Heaven and Earth Designs is for me. This is 125 colors, it's quite a lot. And the Firefly piece is 150 colors, and yeah, that sort of tests my patience sometimes, so I don't think doing a 240 color piece is going to be in my future. I like looking at the ones other people do, but I think that is more confetti than I am willing to work with. Okay. Okay. So see, now I'm going to have more than one thread of this color for sure. Well, I said I wasn't going to work on these ones here, but I guess kind of became necessary to avoid closing stuff in. Yes, I had to be careful when I was working this darker part up here, not to pin stitch down here, because I knew these were going to be lighter colors here. I don't want them to potentially show through. Oh, what did I do there? Oh, I went over 2 stitches. Look at that. Yep, silly me. Ugh, I did that one time, and I didn't realize until after I'd tied off the thread that I had done 2 of the top legs as one big long stitch. So yeah, I ended up having to cut it and pull back and restitch with a new thread. And, ugh. But I knew if I didn't fix it, it would annoy me forever, so yeah. I find too on this bigger count here, it's kind of more obvious. If it was like, you know, 28 count, I might have been able to fudge it, but on 14 count, that's not happening. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to this corner now here and sort of work my way back out, as usual, to avoid closing stuff in. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so there's that center stitch, or it's not an actual stitch, it's between 4 stitches, but that's the center mark there. Yeah. Sometimes I just turn that off too, since I don't stitch from the center. I used to, because that's how they always taught you, right? To find the center of your fabric and then start stitching from the center, but I no longer do that. Now I like to start in the upper left corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just gonna tack this down. This is a little bit of a longer carry. Yeah. And that just keeps it from getting all pulled and loose on the back as easily. 38.59. Yeah, saying I didn't want to do a max color because I find, since I like to work with multiple needles, that, yeah, like on my Firefly with 150 colors, I often end up with so many needles. It's really hard to keep from tangling them, so it means more resetting and more rethreading, and yeah. I mean, I think you could do my method on a max color, but it might be a little tougher than one with, say, regular amount of colors. Yeah, finished watching The Vampire Diaries last night. Ending was pretty bittersweet, but good. I wasn't disappointed with it. Yeah, but yeah, watching that, I said quite a few characters had some really good arcs. Like Caroline started off as very, very shallow, you know, and kind of annoying at first. You know, she got on my nerves, but yeah, she grew a lot over the series, and yeah, you could really, it was really interesting to watch. And Damien, one of the main characters, like, he starts off, he's such a selfish jerk in the beginning, and yeah, he grows a lot. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It worked even though one of the main characters left after season 6, and a lot of times a show cannot survive that, but yeah, it was still pretty good, because yeah, like that happened in that 70s show. I don't bother watching that last season. I just kind of pretend it didn't happen, because yeah, they tried to continue after 2 main characters left, and it was not as funny anymore. Happens with a lot of shows. I watched the BBC production of The Musketeers, which was 3 seasons, and it was good. We enjoyed it. I bought it on DVD so I could watch it again. But I did notice between the I did notice that between seasons, like season 3 just wasn't as funny anymore. When I rewatched it, I really noticed it, because the first 2 seasons, oh my gosh, like, it had laugh out loud moments, you know, like at least 4 times an episode. And then, yeah, it got much more serious for the 3rd season. And while I still enjoyed it, it was not, yeah. I don't know if, like, one of maybe the main writers or something left, and it just wasn't quite as good. I noticed the same with the very last season of Poldark. Again, was good, but it wasn't as good as the first 4 seasons, and that was because they ran out of books to adapt. Yeah, because it was based on a series of books, and they had used up all the source material in the first 4 seasons, so the last season they had to just sort of continue on with the same characters. And again, it was good, but yeah, it was just missing something. So yeah, as often happens. Or, oh, Red Dwarf, you know, absolutely hilarious show. And then season 8, I don't know what the heck that was. It was, yeah, one of the main creators. It was two guys who worked on it for the first 7 seasons. And then one of them left to pursue other projects. And yes, you could really tell after. And then he came back and they did some more, and it was funny again. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, like I say, there's just a kind of synergy that is hard to recreate. It's one of those, when the chemistry is there and the, you know, the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts kind of thing. Yeah. Like, we've been rewatching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and yeah, Vivian and Philip's relationship just doesn't seem the same after they had to recast the actress playing Vivian. The first one they had, I think they had better chemistry. Yeah. In fact, that was one of the things I really liked about that show, was how the aunt and uncle they actually liked each other, unlike a lot of, you know, 90s sitcoms. Okay, so yes, I'll start a new thread of this one. 779. Yeah, so I was saying we finished the Vampire Diaries, so now we're watching the spin-off, the originals. Yeah. Which were characters that did appear in the Vampire Diaries, and they were so popular they ended up making a spin-off show, so now we're watching that. Yeah, the originals told the story of the origin story of how vampires came to be, so yeah. Oh, maybe this is still his forehead and not his eye. We'll see. Yeah, because maybe his eye's more down here, actually, now that I think of it. This might be shading for the light of how it falls across his face. We will see. Yeah, when you stitch one of these, you really get to know all the little details, because you had to actually create them. Sometimes you look at a picture and you don't really, you know, notice all those details, but yeah, when you've actually created the picture, you're definitely gonna see them. $3033. Yeah, a little slower going this time because there's a lot of confetti here. As you can see from how many threads I've got attached here, yeah. This is a lot of detail. I don't think there's many bigger blocks of color for the rest of this pattern. We kind of did them all earlier. Sort of in the upper right corner was a lot of big blocks there, because it was like shadowy and the side of the building. Yeah. And I had people ask to show how I stitch the bigger blocks versus the confetti, so I did make a tutorial about that. If you're curious and want to check it out. Yeah, I think I was right. This is actually, because this is like the center of his head here, so this is his forehead, and then his eyes are going to be, I think, down here. We'll see when we get there. Probably not in this session, but we will at some point. Okay. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do all of this color sort of with one thread and not close stuff in. We will see if I can manage it. There. Can you guess what I'm going to do? Yeah, I don't mind multiple threads, but if there's a way I can avoid having to have so many, then I do. And then I'm going to park this one right here. I'm going to do this lowercase I stitch. This one again, I'm going to kind of carry it around. I have 2 threads of this attached, and I think I can avoid having to attach a third. So park that there. I'm going to switch to this color here, 3774. Yeah, some sessions I can get like 200 stitches done, but some of them, we're lucky if we make 100. There's a lot of confetti. Okay, and then I'm gonna do these 2 here. Okay, and then park this. Yeah, so I was able to avoid attaching more threads unnecessarily in this area by kind of planning ahead a little bit. So do this one here and then these 2. this color. There. So yeah, I kind of saved myself from adding like another 3 extra threads in various colors that I didn't need to. So that makes this chaos of attached threads here a little less daunting. My organized chaos. Yes, there is actually a system to it, even if it looks like there isn't. Yeah, so this one I had to have 2 threads of. They're just too diverged. So I'm not stitching to a strict diagonal. I sort of haven't done this area here, and I may just leave it for the next sort of pass and carry on the diagonal. We'll see. I'll decide as I stitch. I plan ahead a little bit, but not that much. I sort of decide when I get there. Okay, back to this color. Way I didn't have to add a thread for these 3 stitches here. I could do it with the same thread, and then I'm going to carry this back up here and park there. Now I may actually go back up here and see if any of this is threaded or not. I think it's not. I think these are, oh no, actually looks like maybe they are. Okay, that one isn't, but a bunch of these other ones are. So I may actually fill that in then. Wasn't sure whether I would or not. Then I think a bunch of these are not threaded. Yeah, it would involve a lot of rethreading. Yeah, more are unthreaded than not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these here, side. Yeah, I'm going to take any needles off that are on there. Just a couple. There's like, 8 threads here. Maybe 2 or 3 of them are threaded. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take these, just kind of detangle them a little bit. There. And going to them aside. There. Yeah, that is a lot. But yeah, put them aside and I will get to them when I work the next diagonal section. I find that also helps me avoid lines. If I don't leave sharp straight lines, if it's sometimes past the line and sometimes behind the line, then yeah, that can also help avoid there being lines in the finished piece. I've never really had a problem with lines, but hey, if this helps to make sure that doesn't ever happen, then that's a good thing, right? Yeah. So yeah, I find my method is kind of methodical, but also a little all over the place at the same time. It works. At least it works for me anyway. You know, you stitch your way. If my method works for you, great. If a variation of it works for you, if you do it completely differently and it works for you, it's all good. Okay, did those 3 there. Okay, I'm going to fill in a little bit here again. So yeah, I always kind of eventually end up back over at the far left and working my way out towards the right. Have to be careful again where I pin stitch. This color is a little darker. I don't want it to show through. Well, we did get over 100, so. We started at 48 and a half, so let's see, maybe we'll reach 49. Well, by the end of today, I think, maybe not necessarily during this video. Okay. Oh yeah, here's another one that doesn't have a lot of this color, 6, but yeah, they're kind of scattered all over, so I won't be getting a 0 with that one this month. 36.88. Okay, 38.64. Ah, I hate when I do that. Yeah, one of the hazards of working with shorter pieces is it's easier to accidentally unthread your needle, which is what I did there. That's what I get for fiddling around with tiny little bits, right? Yeah, it's a lone stitch, and this piece will cover it, so I'm gonna do that. So this piece again is gonna probably jump around a little bit, but I think I can avoid adding another thread. This one I knew I was going to have to add another thread because they're just way too far apart. Let's try not to knot these around each other. So yeah, we're almost reaching the edge of this diagonal here. So then I'll have more threads tucked away as I carry down here. You can see there's quite a few parts there, so that part is gonna. So like I said, this color is going to jump a bit, so I usually don't cross as I go, but it depends where I want the thread to end up. In this case, I want it to end up more closer to the left hand edge here before I come back out to the right with it. So I did these two that way, and then do these three. And then I'm going to park this, ready to do two below it. And then once I do those two, it'll go back again to the right. So then that way, yeah, I was able to do all that with one strand and not have to add more. So I'm thinking I may go, oop, what did I do here? Oh, I parked this in the wrong spot, didn't I? Oh no, I just didn't. Okay, what happened is, no, I just didn't mark that there. Yeah. Yeah, I did do that stitch, but I forgot to color it in, so that's what was mixing me up. So, yeah. This color is kind of extending into the next diagonal, but it just sort of makes sense to do it. So, yeah. Like I said, that also helps to avoid lines. Okay, this color. And then this, where I'm going to park it, is definitely outside of the diagonal. So at this point, we'll unthread that one. And then I'm just going to finish off this one here of this color. I could just park it for the next diagonal, but as it's still threaded and doing all the rest of these stitches in this section here will not close anything in, I'm just going to do that. So, like I often say, I let the colors sort of, I follow them and let them help me decide what to do when. Light colors you can pin stitch anywhere because you don't have to worry whether it's dark or light. It won't show through. Okay, 37, 7, 4. Okay, and then that one I unthreaded. Yeah. Add it to the other threads here that are put aside. And again, going back over to this right hand edge, working my way out. Those were too uneven to thread them. I won't bother leaving that threaded. That piece is just too short. And it's going to be a bit till I get to it. I've got to fill in some more stuff around it. So, oh, pardon me. Yeah, kiddo had a week off school, so I got spoiled of sleeping in for a while. So now I got to get back onto the regular schedule. thread was hanging out of the envelope. That won't work. Not back there. Oh, my goodness. That is a big one. Let's see if I can pick it apart or not. Oh, come on. A piece of junk. Ah, gotcha. Excellent. Yes, sometimes I find using a spare needle to help you pick those apart can sometimes work. It's too sort of finicky to try to pick it apart with your nails. Since, you know, embroidery floss is so skinny. Okay, what are we at? 153. Okay. I think we'll take it to 155. Yes, so like I said, we didn't make it to 49 during this session, but I think I will by the end of my day. Perfect. Oh, I must have had no short leftover pieces left for this one because, yeah, this is a big long piece for one stitch. Well, the only way to get small pieces is to have leftover pieces from bigger strands, right? Okay. Find my envelope. Okay, make sure I remember to mark that as done. 155 even. So yeah, I think that is where I'm going to stop for now. So as usual, thank you so much for joining me today and hope to see you here again another time. All right, thanks everyone.